The fight for a future in America. Words we can expect to hear throughout the convention as the Harris ticket works to define its policies and draw in Gen Z and rural working class voters. Political analysts say this is a pivotal week that could shape their campaign. Coming off of a busy month on the campaign trail, Vice President Kamala Harris and her running mate Tim Walz are primed for a week of events on stage of the Democratic National Convention, capping it all off with their nomination. Since President Biden stepped aside, the Harris campaign has re-energized Democratic voters, raising more than $300 million and attracting crowds topping 10,000.
This campaign, our campaign, is not just a fight against Donald Trump. Our campaign, this campaign, is a fight for the future.
It's been a whirlwind campaign. Barely 2 weeks after taking over, Harris picked Walz, the governor of Minnesota, as her choice for vice president.
When we fight.
Then launching into a swing state tour where the duo voiced their vision for America's future, with abortion access a top priority.
We will pass a bill to restore reproductive freedom, and I will proudly sign it into law.
And other policies, like strengthening the Affordable Care Act, stricter gun control, and raising the minimum wage. Walz, the longtime high school teacher and football coach, looks to draw in blue-collar voters.
When unions are strong, America's strong.
It all means the race to November is tightening, with the polls revealing battleground states leaning slightly in Harris's favor. While the road to Chicago has been wide open, Democrats will face a bumpy ride at the convention over deep divisions in their party on a crucial issue.
Well, there have been real fractures within the Democratic Party on Israel.
In the primaries, Democrat members of Congress who spoke out against U.S. support for Israel's war against Hamas were defeated. Two highly visible losses, Rep. Cori Bush of Missouri and New York Congressman Jamal Bowman, who belonged to a progressive group known as the Squad. Their opponents, both strong backers of Israel. While the party fights it out inside the convention center, tens of thousands of pro-Palestinian and anti-Israel protesters are expected to gather in Chicago.
We already know that there have been plans for protests in Chicago next week. So it's definitely something that the party is going to be really trying to carefully maneuver.
Politico's Meredith McGraw predicts those loud voices will add pressure for Harris to voice a clear stance this week.
Vice President Harris is really trying to walk a fine line between not abandoning some voters and supporters who are further left, who have been calling for a ceasefire and who have been protesting the Biden administration's policies when it comes to Israel, and also defending an ally of the U.S.
One way the DNC looks to bring unity to the party, support from past leadership. The one thing McGraw says may have been missing at the Republican National Convention.
You didn't see other Republican leadership sharing the stage with Trump. It really was a message that the GOP is Trump's party now.
Former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton will headline this week's convention as the party rolls out its vision for a Harris presidency. And headlining tonight's lineup, President Biden and Hillary Clinton will address the crowd. Later in the week, Walz will officially accept the vice presidential nomination on Wednesday.